Always a terminal with the V2 server. I always keep like my test server. I always have it running in a terminal here, just because when I'm testing something, then I could just quickly stop it and start it again. So that's that's why there's always this random little terminal window up here. Um, so I set it up with the V2 servers. I have what's called like server fleets or whatever these are called. But prod fleet, which is like production fleet. This is all the actual servers that are running on AWS. All the purple dots all over the place for hosting games and stuff. But then dev fleet is my this little server that's just running locally here. Actually, technically, it's not running locally. It's running on an AWS instance also, but I'm just using Mosh or SSH to connect to it. So it's a much more like small scale affair than Prod Fleet here, but it works pretty well though. So I can test most stuff on Dev Fleet like pretty quickly. Just tweak stuff and then Control C to kill the server, relaunch it, and then in 5 seconds like it's back up and running. So it was when I had like the V1 master server, like the old stuff. Basically, I was doing like all my work on like the production version, so like the live one that was running on like Google App Engine. So anytime I wanted to change something, I would have to push a new version out to App Engine. So it was a lot slower to iterate on. So that's kind of a big improvement that I've made on the V2 stuff is now I have this little test server that it just makes it a lot faster to like test things. So anyway, that's long story long. Um, what are we gonna do today? So last week, it was largely, had our special guest, the Mickey Rog, and had our very cool demo and conversation and whatnot, but didn't actually have too much time for just question and answer and kind of normal stuff. So I figured today will be kind of just normal stuff, just any topics people want to bring up. I have a few things I can show, stuff I've been working on, so I'll get to that soon. But I figure first, I don't know, anyone have any topics, any thoughts, anything breaking in the last week, or new and exciting developments, or new mods, or anything you want to show off, or anything like that? Oh, is anyone else lagging? Okay. Oh, I do have. Here, let me clear out the screen here a little bit. I do have my exciting new coffee mug, though it's not super unique, but it's the Starbucks mug that I got from England. Hooray! So my girlfriend and I we were in Poland because she's from Poland, so we were in Poland for Christmas, and then we took a little trip to London for New Year's. So I got a Starbucks mug from London. So very exciting. Did you see the new mod pack Exploratory? I did right before this started. Actually, I was super behind on my messages, so yeah, I got a message from Sock. I guess SOK Sock. How would I say that? Um, but yeah, I saw the link to it, so I haven't had a chance to check it out yet. But yeah, looking forward to checking that out. Have you checked it out? Like, how is it? Oh, sorry about that. I wonder sometimes if I'm streaming it like too high quality or something like that. I guess I won't change things, but if a lot of people are having quality issues or something, I can adjust the streaming settings if necessary. Where is that? Is there somewhere to? Well, I'm not going to worry about it right now. But I saw somewhere earlier where I could adjust, change settings on the fly. But like we could do like 30 FPS instead of 60 or something like that. Cool. Yes, definitely want to check that out then. Yeah, I'm super excited to be able to do. Hopefully I can pull some stuff like that. Like people make mods of the existing characters. Hopefully we can pull some of that into like the official store once downloads are available and stuff to just kind of give everyone access to that stuff. Like that'd be super fun. I'm I know originally I was thinking when we get to the point where it's easier to add more characters, like I was thinking like, oh, I'll just add like new characters, but But I am kind of excited about the idea of just adding like some variations of the existing characters, because it's kind of nice. Like you don't want to have too many characters, because then it starts to get like hard to keep track of, or each character is less special. But then if you have like a smaller number, but each one like you do some variations on it, that could be fun. It's like Nintendo, like Mario, and like the same group of people always shows up in the same game in all their games, but they're doing different stuff. It's something that's like nice and familiar about them though. Cool. Did you get the? I know you were having the weird issue with the scaling stuff. Is that fixed, or is that working well? But that looks cool. So yeah, cool. If that's responding to me, so yeah. Or is that responding to, is this a mod? Oh no. But anyway, hopefully you got the scaling stuff figured out. If not, I can try to help you with that again. Silly math weird issues. Oh, okay, cool. All right, so we should get to the bottom of this. Is it Sock? SOK? Like, how should we say your name? This keeps happening where there's like so many people where I've read their names and typed their names a million times, but I've never said it out loud. So like, how would you prefer your name to be pronounced? Oh, I can't join this stream. Oh yeah. Shoot. Sorry, I just read that. Oh, well, okay. Well, when you can join the stream, we'll bring that back up. I hate when I do that, when I'm just, I don't read something that's 2 lines up, and then I'm just completely oblivious and be like, oh, yeah, just like having a conversation with someone who can't hear me. Well, we can just ask him next time he can join the stream. I guess he's probably busy. Oh, maybe he's going to tell us. Moment of truth. All right. Cool. I'm glad we got that figured out. So, Sock it is. One thing, I've random story about my girlfriend. So she's from Poland, and one thing that I've noticed, like the people from Poland, at least when they're speaking English, they tend to pronounce like things that we say in the U.S. like abbreviations for like SUV, like sport utility vehicle. They will pronounce them like SUV. They'll say like SUV or things like that. So it's kind of an interesting quirk I've noticed. So sometimes they'll be saying a word where it's like SUV. Like, what's a SUV? Like, oh, SUV. What the heck is going on here? Is this actually like run? Like, I haven't done any stress tests lately, but just like how many characters you can throw in the game before it just starts, imploding. I guess it probably depends on what system you're running on. Like a high-end PC could probably handle it better. Oh, that's cool. I like that, little devil horns. Oh man, this also makes me want to just like revisit the original skins and make them like higher res and stuff. Ah, so much fun stuff to do. Need to get to that. So on that note, maybe I'll give you a little quick update of what I've been up to this last week. Everyone feel free to keep like posting questions or something. I'll get back to those soon, but I'll go in a little spiel on my current endeavor. Oh, actually first, game blows up. Like, what actually happens when you say the game blows up? Does it just like slow to a crawl, or does it crash, or like? I'm curious. I've never actually stress tested it to the point of breaking things like that. Oh, let's see what this is. I love the sound effects. First stop and then just crash. Okay, shucks. Very cool stuff. Yeah, I suppose that would probably be a good thing for me to like stress test at some point, or like at least have the game handle that gracefully. Or, I mean, it's not that it can handle it well, because it's like it's the physics is the limitation. Like, it can't actually process that much stuff, but it should just like gracefully slow to a crawl, I guess, and then you get like a game that's like 1 frame per second, ideally. So it shouldn't like crash though. That's unless you run out of memory. I guess that's always a possibility. But yeah, always. It's one of those things where I never like to test that stuff, because it just makes me feel bad, just like abusing the game like that. Like, oh, it's behaving so bad. But it is important to do that, or like to test on laggy connections or things like that, because that's like in the real world, that kind of stuff happens. So anyway, so getting back to what I've been up to is I'll get this out of the way quick. So what I started working on is for 1.7.20, which is the next little minor update. So I started writing this little app component system. And what app component is, I was hoping to originally give a demo of it today, but you'll have to wait till next week. But basically what app component is going to be just a way to like override classes in the game, so that the example I keep giving is like the chat window. So basically, the game, instead of like creating a chat window, which is like a specific type of thing that's defined in the game, like the chat window class, I forgot where it lives, but it's in here somewhere. It'll instead have like, basically you'll be able to like register a chat window class. So the game will be like, hey, this is the default chat window class, but it can be overridden. And so then plugins will just be able to like override that class and be like, hey, I want to use my chat window class instead of this one. And so it's kind of it's a pretty simple but like organized way to be able to kind of have plugins replace parts of the game with custom ones. And this is something you've been able to do. Like, modders have been able to go in and like take part of the game out and replace it with their own parts or whatever. It's kind of like do surgery on the built-in stuff. But the problem with that is anytime you're changing the built-in stuff, when the game gets updated, then you have to like redo all those changes. You have to like reapply all your changes on top of the new built-in stuff, or you're gonna like miss bug fixes and stuff that come through. So what this does, this app component system, is hopefully it gives us a way to kind of replace parts of the game in a more clean way. So you can like replace the chat window with your own chat window, without having to redo that work every time the game gets updated. Or, like I said, I'm hoping to give a demo of this next week. Maybe we can do like replace the chat window with a better chat window. But then we can start plugging the stuff in the game and like other different places wherever it would make sense. Like, hey, if you want to replace like the main menu, or if you want to replace, I don't know, the preferences screen, or we can think of different things where it might be cool to just be able to like plug in like modded components. So that'll be fun. New modded guide. Oh my gosh, I'm slacking and I haven't actually checked it out yet. So I will I will make a note to do that right after this video. I already applied all my mods to one. Oh, is one. I guess there's probably test builds of 1.7.20 out on on there. But anyway, the app component stuff. Once I started work on that, this tends to happen sometimes where I'll start working on something and then it leads me to being like, oh, okay, it makes sense with this app component stuff. Like, I need to rip this part out to make it cleaner to use this. And then once I do that, it's like, oh, but I need to move this part out. And so it 1.7.20 kind of unintentionally started turning into like this major code shuffling. So You're all gonna probably hate me for at least a moment or two, but let me explain, and then hopefully you won't hate me anymore. But basically, as part of 1.8, if you remember, like one of the big features in 1.8 is what's called scene packages. So basically, this is or scene versions. So this means like all the gameplay as it currently is, we're gonna kind of package that up into what's gonna be called like scene version 1. And so that means like all the gameplay, all the mods, everything out there right now will continue functioning. But once that stuff is all kind of wrapped up in its nice little clean box, then we can add like scene version 2, or we can start to add different scene versions, which basically means like we can change everything. For scene version 2, we can add like different node types or different attributes, or like clean up the spaz node, or whatever changes would make sense for the future, to like be able to actually move the game forward and add client prediction, or downloadable assets, stuff like that will probably happen in like scene version 2. So anyway, what that means for us right now is I wound up just starting to kind of like reorganize things into where they're going to be for that. So even though this is still 1.7, 1.7.20 is going to be kind of a significant like reshuffling, like moving things around. So again, that's what I apologize for, because it's probably going to take a little bit of work to like adjust mods for that. But my thought is, if we do that now, we can like rip the Band-Aid off and be done with it, and then hopefully we don't have to move that stuff around like ever again. So what that means basically is the dreaded, let's see, if you come down and check out the release notes, I haven't actually pushed these up yet, but our dear friend API version is going to be going from 7 to 8. So probably a lot of you just dealt with this, like updating your API version to get to 7 when it changed. I guess that was for 1.7, but we'll have to bump it one more time from 7 to 8, because a lot of stuff is going to be moving around. And so I'll go ahead and maybe I'll explain what's moving around a little bit. So I apologize, but basically that means like if you have a mod, you'll have to, after 1.7.20 comes out, you'll have to just like revisit your mod, change your API version to 8, and then probably rename a few things, or import things from slightly different places. So yeah, that's basically that. And I'll explain more of this. I'm hoping this will be ready by maybe next week. Hopefully this won't take too long, but basically what's going to be happening is there is going to be, like right now, if you're familiar with the game setup under BA data, Python, there's basically two main modules. There's BA module, or the BA package, which is like the kind of low level basic building blocks and built-in stuff. And then there's BA standard library, or BASTD as I pronounce it in my head. And this is just, this is like the set of all the built-in like actors and activities and game types and stuff like that. And so basically what's going to be changing is BASTD is going to be going away. Because all of this stuff, like actors and game types and whatever, these are all specific to like scene version 1. So we're going to basically, most of this stuff will be moving into something called BA Scene v1. And a lot of stuff under BA also will be moving into BA Scene v1. And so basically when you're doing, again, I'll go into specifics later because it's not 100% nailed down, but basically anytime you're doing gameplay coding, you'll be using BA Scene v1. And I was thinking that probably when you work with it, you'll probably do more like import BA Scene v1 as you do BS for like Ballistica Scene. So the cool thing is that would put us back at using BS, which is kind of awesome. Or you could just do like import that as BA, and then your code will probably continue to work if it's simple enough. But anyway, so yeah, that's largely the basic gist of it, is that like a lot of pieces will be going into like this BA Scene v1. The UI stuff is going to be going into BA UI v1. So yeah, so it's going to be basically a bit of work. So it's going to be a ton of work for me first to get all the built-in stuff there. But then yeah, it'll be a bit of work for modders to kind of get their stuff updated. I'm going to try to put some maybe some helper functions in place where you can just like use the built-in type checking on a mod. Like if you if you check out Ballistica and then you have a mod directory, you'll be able to like run a command and just have it run type checking. So then that can help you be like, oh, this function doesn't exist anymore. I need to find the updated version. And I'm also keeping track of exactly what's moving where. So hopefully this won't be too bad. And like I said, the upside of doing this now in 1.7 is that none of the functionality is changing. Like the game is still going to be the exact same game. It's just like it's putting all these pieces in different places and getting them prepared for the future. So that means you don't have to deal with like code moving around and like functionality changing. All you have to deal with is like code moving around. So it seemed like a good time to do this because 1.7 is mostly stable, and this will let us just like get everything in a good place for like scene versions and stuff. And then the exciting part is then when 1.8 comes out, there'll just be a BA Scene v2 that you can optionally use if you want to, but all the BA Scene v1 stuff should still work basically the same. So I'm trying to kind of think of this as like making it totally future-proof, where like this will, and for version 1.8, BA Scene v2 will happen that you can use. Maybe in the eventual future, like if we redo the UI system, there maybe will be a BA UI v2. But the idea is that hopefully we won't have to do as much like changing things in place after this. It'll just be like adding new things and eventually removing the old things. So, maybe years from now, there might be like BA Scene v5 and BA Scene v6 or something, bundled with the game. Or maybe BA Scene v1 might actually stick around for a long time. We'll see. So there might be like BA Scene v1 and BA Scene v6. Who knows? We'll see how it goes. But the idea being that like this is one last big ugly reshuffle, and then at that point we will hopefully be in a place where we don't have to do that anymore. And I'm thinking with it's a big pain in the butt, like updating API version, like I said, because every time you run an old mod, it will give you that error, like this mod needs to be updated. But I'm thinking with the new system, hopefully this is the last time that we'll have to rely on API version. So, or one of the last few times where it like breaks everything. So this is definitely, API version is kind of a big hammer, and it'll be nice to not have to use that anymore. If we can rely just on splitting things out into different like scene versions and stuff. So. Yeah, I've actually why is my doc not coming up? Like this is something, like taking notes and stuff for this is something I started doing actually like just a few years ago, and I totally love it. Like it, before this, like when I first started writing the game, I would not make notes and I would just have it in my head and start writing stuff. But I feel like just writing things down lets me like go back through it and like have little arguments with myself. It's kind of dumb, but like it really helps me organize thoughts. I don't know if that's like a getting older thing. My brain doesn't work as well, or it probably would have been useful even younger. But yeah, I totally I enjoy this way of doing things. Just like basically making a little proposal for myself and then coming back in and be like, oh no, this idea sucks. Changing parts of it. So I spent like the better part of a day just like going through and trying to rationalize all this stuff. But yeah, it's definitely, give it a try sometime. Like I said, I never did it until a few years ago, and maybe it's after like working with friends or working like with a group of people, because you kind of have to do this kind of stuff then. So I was just thinking like, what if I tried that for just doing my own stuff? So on my notes app here, I have like so many just random scratchy notes for, this is like account linking or efro.message or internal build flags, file, blah, 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 like all this random junk. Part of me thinks I should just like do this on the wiki sometime so other people can see it, but a lot of it is so like random and disjoint and like what the heck is this even talking about? I don't want to like confuse people. And also some of it becomes like obsolete, like I'll write this big thing about like, oh, how can I improve this? And then like 5 months later, I'll come back and I'll be like, oh, I did it a completely different way. So anyway. So let's see. So yeah, again, 1.7.20, it'll probably be, coming out sometime in the next few weeks. And I'll try to work with people, or I'll try to come up with ways where hopefully you can test your mods. At some point, what I really want to do is make like the workspaces stuff. I want to hook that up to like the code testing stuff, so you can run like MyPy or PyLint on that stuff, which would also just be a big help. And then you could be like, oh, this function doesn't exist anymore, or oh, this doesn't, this has been renamed. It would just like give you a quick way to adjust to any changes that come through. But yeah, that's probably about right. BA scene V9 when I'm 95. I do wonder. I mean, I'm kind of approaching this as like a life project, or like as a career sort of thing. So I'm thinking about things like very long term. I do wonder, like, wouldn't that be funny to like if I am on like BA scene V9 or something in my 50s or 60s, or who knows what'll happen. I wonder how long. I know people, obviously, people reach retirement age, and your mind slows down, and a guitar. Like, I wonder how long you can be an effective programmer. Like, I wonder if there's any programmers out there that are like in their 90s or something, or you always see stories of like some dude that like still runs marathons when he's like 95 years old. But I wonder if there's someone out there that's like still coding awesome stuff and they're like 100. I know there's like stereotypes too. Like I live here in California, or like not too far from like Silicon Valley, and there's stereotypes that like, well, once you're in your 30s, you're too old. It's like this is for like you got to be in your 20s to be doing programming and stuff, which I think is totally untrue. It's age is just a number. I tell myself that just because I'm getting old. So, but I know I've read about like competitive gamers. They're saying that like you physically, it's like a very young age, like 22 or something. Once you get older than that, like you physically can't click as fast as like people younger than you. So it starts to actually become a disadvantage, like your APMs drop or whatever, or there's some age when you're, it's almost like sports, when once you're in your 30s or something, like you're over the hill. Oh, this has come up a few times. First person bomb squad. Yeah, someone was. I need to once again catch up on messages. I'm as usual behind, but yeah, people are asking like, can you put the camera at the player level? I feel like that would be a totally different game. I mean, for one, like if you, as physicsy and like squishy as Bomb Squad is, if you actually put a camera like with the character's head, like it would be like flopping all over the place. I feel like that would just get you sick like instantly. But I mean, you could do something like the character or like the camera like behind like a third person sort of thing. Maybe that could work. But the big reason that doesn't really exist as an option, or I don't think that's really been done, is that the game has basically been designed for third person. So like if you look at all the maps, most of them only look good from one angle. They're kind of like cheated to the camera, as they say. So if you were actually to like go through one of those maps in a first person mode, like it would look so broken and so fake and stuff. It would be probably like walking through a movie set. You'd probably realize like, wow, this all looks really terrible. It just looks really good from, where the camera happens to be, because it's designed for that. But, if you get close up to something, it's like, this is clearly made of styrofoam. But yeah, I guess you could fix the maps and make like first person maps. And who knows, maybe that would be a fun game, like a different sort of thing. But yeah, I guess another thing too is like the engine wasn't really designed for that. Like there's certain shortcuts that the engine takes. For instance, in most cases, it basically just draws everything. Like if there's 8 players in the game will like always draw those 8 spaz nodes, even if one of them's off screen. So it's a little bit wasteful, but like usually they're all on screen, so it's usually fine. But like first person shooters and things like that, there's a lot of tricks they have to do to be able to like cull geometry and only draw the stuff that's in front of you and things like that. And Bomb Squad is not really trying to do that. It's just trying to do like the dumb, simple approach because that's all it needs. And so there's upsides to keeping things dumb and simple, but there's downsides too, in that like it wouldn't be good at like drawing a first person view, I don't think. So in that case, I mean, you could almost like take it into an engine that was designed for that, like keep Bomb Squad's physics and attach it to Unreal or Unity or something like that. So, who knows? But that would be such like a major endeavor. I feel like to do that well, that would be almost basically making a new game. So, yeah, I mean, you never know. We'll see what happens in the future or something. My thoughts are, I know we've talked about like an AR version or a VR version where you're kind of like looking down, like almost like a third person thing. I think it could be cool. Something like that could be cool, where it's like it's still basically you're kind of distant from the characters, but maybe you're playing on your tabletop or something like that. So I feel like there's some variations we could do. Also, character design too, like the detail in the characters and stuff. It wasn't really designed to be looking at them super up close. I know that's something I'd like to improve for 1.8, like get at least higher res textures and higher res models. But still, I think you'd have to get really, really higher res for something to look good, like half the height of the screen, Yeah, game replays. I'd really love to do more with game replays, and I'm trying to think about that as for like Scene V2. So in 1.8, like I said, right now this big mess right now is basically moving all the existing stuff into this Scene V1 container, basically, kind of like putting it in this little safekeeping box so that we can keep it around and it won't change. But then for Scene V2, I'd like to maybe look at kind of substantially revamping like maybe the replay stuff, or along with many other things, but I think that would be awesome to have more functionality with replays, to be able to do things like, for instance, rewinding, like you said, or like bookmarking things. Like as the replay is going or as the game is going, like maybe the the server script could like mark points in the game, like, oh hey, something really awesome happened like right now, and then later after the game maybe it could like go back and show those moments, stuff like that. I mean, other games do that, I think. There's like shows the most interesting things that happened during that game. Or also like Scene V2 will probably be built like largely with cloud servers in mind. So hopefully we can keep the replays around on those cloud servers. So if someone wants to like save a replay, maybe that'll just go up to a permanent cloud server somewhere. So like it'd be great to be able to like easily point friends at replays or like little snippets of replays or something. So I will. One thing I'll try to do is hopefully make the API for them a little bit more easy to understand. I know the replay stuff right now, it's kind of like heavily tangled with like the gameplay stuff, and it's a little bit hard to kind of see like what you could separate out or what is what. But if we can make like a nice kind of cleaner API for the replay stuff, then maybe people can help do some fun stuff with them, like save snippets or edit them and save this part, send this part to somebody or whatever. So I'd love to keep that stuff in mind. Any ideas you all have with like what would be fun with replays? So yeah, like none of that it's not super high on the priority list, but it's stuff I'd like to keep in mind. Like I think there's a lot of fun stuff that could happen with replays. Do I agree or not? Like what is... Oh. I would say 6. 6 sounds great to me. Yeah, I think. I mean, saving player data. What would saving player data? What kind of stuff would that be? Saving player data. So depending on what that is, like, I'll let you know. Because there's some things where it's like I plan to revamp them, or like in the cloud era there will be different ways to do things. So it's like I'll try to steer you away from things that are like, oh, this is like the old way, like kill stats and stuff. Yeah, I guess I'm neutral on that, because I feel like that'll probably evolve as cloud stuff happens. Like as with the squad system, there'll probably be some sort of stats along with that. So if you want to write something now, I know there was like that old tutorial on, I think it was stats, right? Just like dumping stats after a game, just kind of ad hoc throwing some like JSON data up at a server. So if you want to do something like that, I mean, that's totally fine. But just a slight heads up that there might be a different way to do it for squad stuff later. But the Git stuff, I think Git, like a Git tutorial is super helpful. Anyone who's writing, wants to write a serious mod, just any like little getting started thing for how to manage stuff with Git could be cool. Even for me, like I feel like I know enough Git to like push my stuff and sync my public and private repos and stuff like that, but it's been like years since I've actually done any serious Git with branches and all the fancy stuff you're able to do with Git. I haven't actually been keeping up on any of that, so I'm probably pretty rusty. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how the new stuff evolves. Oh, there'll also be like a BA Classic. In the reorganization, there'll be BA Classic, which is going to be, I'm going to be starting to put stuff in there that is, it needs to stay around because the game needs to keep being able to run old stuff, but it doesn't need to exist forever, or it's stuff where it's like this is old code that needs to keep working, but it's shouldn't really be used for new stuff. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like V1 accounts is an example. Like that will all the V1 account stuff will exist under BA Classic, where it's like we want this stuff to keep working, but we want to kind of like clean it out so it's not cluttering up the future version of the game, or it's kind of like off to the side and safe. Voice chat introduced to VS. I mean, I would. For me, I guess first and foremost, voice chat is almost a technical problem because I haven't looked into it recently, but I don't know of like a simple way to add voice chat to like all the platforms that I'd like to support. I know you can get voice chat kits for Android and stuff that covers probably most things, but some of them are like paid and some of them, so it's like I'd like to, if we had voice chat, I'd like that to be like in the open source version, and I don't know if that would be possible with like some of the paid SDKs, and some of them, I don't know if they support all the platforms that the game might be on. So it seems like, from my perspective, it doesn't seem like there's a clean situation to get voice chat in there in a way that I'd be happy with. Because in general, I'm trying to avoid stuff that only applies to like one platform or two platforms. Over time, I used to do more of that where like, there was the Google Play specific stuff, like inviting Google Play friends to parties and things like that. But then that stuff got deprecated by Google at some point. And, also it only applied to the Google version. And so like the poor people running on Amazon or the Mac people or the PC people were not included. So I feel like these days I'm trying to avoid stuff that only applies to like one platform whenever possible. I'd definitely prefer to, if I'm adding something to the game, I'd prefer that to like apply equally to everyone, Wait, am I muted? What? Okay. I was like, I don't think I'm muted, right? So yeah, I don't know. How do you guys feel? Like, would you guys want to see voice chat in there if there was a way to do it cleanly for all platforms? Nope. Nope. I do not. Okay. Do you guys play with voice chat like when you're playing PC games or online and stuff in general? Like I've never really. The only time I do voice chat myself, I mean, I'm kind of older, and I feel like maybe not as hardcore a gamer as a lot of people, but I'll do like Discord chats with a few friends if we're playing online or something. But I pretty much always turn off in-game chat. Are you guys the same, or do you guys ever use in-game chats? So yeah, Discord, cool. So that's my thought is like just because there's not I don't see an easy way to make voice chat that would work everywhere. Is just my thought for now at least is just let people rely on Discord. Um, Also, like I said, I'd love with the squad system if we could get it like super cleanly wired up with Discord for being able to like invite players to your squad and stuff like that. Like let's just like lean on things like Discord for what they do well, which is voice chat and like gathering groups of friends and stuff like that. So I see that as a good thing. Oh yeah, proximity voice chat. Yeah, I can see that being good in like VR type situations or different things. But yeah, we don't. That wouldn't really apply to us. I figure if we did do voice chat, I mean, we'd maybe. I feel like maybe having it in squads mode where it's just between your friends or something like that. Just to keep it non-toxic. The same as like regular chat. That's kind of what I'd mentioned this before. Maybe you all hadn't heard, but like I'm thinking by default for the squad system, you should be able to like easily chat with your squad mates, but not with like the people you're playing against. Like maybe there could be an option to turn that on if you wanted, but um, I'm hoping that will solve some of the toxicity issues. If you don't have a way to directly spam your enemies with curse words. We'll have to at some point. We'll have to. I tried to register the server when we first set it up as Discord server to get it like official or whatever, but they rejected me. I guess Ballistica wasn't a well-known enough word. Maybe I should have just had it just be Bomb Squad itself. So I don't know. We could try that again at some point, but at least my initial attempt at getting this Discord server official failed miserably. Seeing people mentioning roadmaps, so I'm going to trace this up and see where this came from. Read the roadmap, read the friends listing. 1.9. Well, this, to be fair, this stuff, I am super excited about getting the squad system up and running. So, maybe there could be like a super alpha version, even in like the 1.7 era. We'll see. Another part of this, going back to this whole like refactor I'm doing right now, like the app component system, is this will be like kind of one of the necessary pieces for the squad system. So basically one thing that will be an app component is it'll probably be something called like the app mode. So the app mode will be like when you run the app right now, that'll just be like the classic app mode, which is basically like it'll probably be like a single class that just kind of like determines like what the app is doing. I know we talked about this a few weeks ago, but once we have like this app mode component that we can then override or swap out, then we'll be able to do like other app components like squads mode will probably be just a different app component where it's like the app will basically switch into squads mode. So once this is in place, as of 1.7.20, then hopefully we can start doing like a very primitive, version 0.1 iteration of squads mode, because that'll just be an app component of some sort. So anyway, that's kind of how all this stuff ties together. So that's part of the reason that I wanted to start getting this app component stuff in there is so that we can start to experiment with like a really rough squads mode. And then, as I said, like getting this stuff in there led me to like cleaning up other parts, which led me to like other stuff, which led to like this whole big refactor. So it happens. BAV4 when Eric 95. Yes. In new 1.8, when we create our own characters maps, how will it work on server side? What are some limitations? That is actually a very good question. I mean, I definitely need to like look into that from like, logical and legal perspectives and stuff. Like whether there should be some sort of like gate process. Like if my thought is like maybe if you make custom characters, maybe you're slightly limited on like who can use those, or like if you can share them with your friends with codes or something like that. But then maybe they would need to be like approved for everyone to get access to them or something. Or, I don't think having a complete free for all would be good, because you can make some like rated R skin or something, and go hop into a public game, and then all the kids playing there are suddenly seeing like a anatomically correct characters running around or something like that. So I feel like there should be some sort of safety net, or some sort of gate that maybe you have to pass before things are like available publicly. And also just avoiding, I don't want to spend all my time like responding to Disney lawyers saying like, why is Mickey Mouse in your game? But yeah, technically, I mean, it should be possible technically, like if you make your own character, like it should be possible for anyone to see that. It's just a matter of like what makes sense in terms of those other things I mentioned. I hope that answers your question. And I mean, who knows what can happen in the future? I'd love to, I don't want to spread myself too thin, but maybe it's something, maybe I could hire someone to kind of manage that stuff, or, even like pay people, we do like what's the thing in Steam where you can like make stuff and get money for it or get paid for it? Steam Workshop. We could do something like that where, maybe people could make custom characters, and I could add them to the store officially, and then like people could get paid a portion of that or something like that. Who knows? That'd be a lot of fun. Oh yeah, Mickey Mouse is. Oh yeah, I was reading about this on a random note. Yeah, Mickey Mouse going public domain. That is true. Going like the original Mickey Mouse. But they were saying like that is the actual original design. So like the design of Mickey Mouse in that very first short that he appeared in. So he looked like very old school. He had like slits for eyes and stuff, like that kind of like 1920s looking Mickey Mouse. So it's saying like you can use that Mickey Mouse, but you can't actually use like the modern one with, that looks kind of a modern style. So it's kind of interesting. So we could actually, legally, we could put like old school Mickey Mouse in the game, have him be like black and white. That'd be kind of cool. I know there's like parody laws and stuff though, so it's like you can put characters that are obviously meant to be like a parody of a popular thing in there, and you shouldn't get in trouble for that. So we could always do like a Mickey Mouse type character, just have it be slightly different, like Mickey Rog Mouse. I don't know, just change the name a little bit. Favorite game mode. For me, yeah, I would say maybe Capture the Flag. I'm trying to think like the ones that I've had the most fun playing with friends, like the ones that get the most heated. I think Capture the Flag is definitely up there. There's definitely like those crazy moments, where someone's almost making it back and someone barely bombs them, and so that might be it. There's a number where there's been some fun moments, but yeah, I think Capture the Flag. Depending on the map and depending on like who's playing and if it's evenly matched and stuff, like that can lead to fun, intense moments. Making paid character. Well, I feel like mentioning like I'd be happy to. I mean, who knows how hard this would be set up, but I'd be happy to. If you want to make paid characters. I mean, I guess I'd rather avoid people making paid characters and like selling them outside the game. But yeah, if you want to like go through the official game store or something like that, like that'd be, I'd be happy to figure out the math there or something, like share that with people or something, like I don't want to have people make characters and then like only for my benefit, I'd love to give something back. I mean, at first, if there is a system like that, at first I'd probably just give in-game stuff. Like, hey, if you want to make a cool like modification of Kronk or something like that, like with a hat, you can like earn, either in-game stuff or coolness. I don't know, coolness points. Who knows? But then it would be cool to set up like being able to actually pay people for stuff. Definitely not in that place right now. I'm definitely at the moment I'm in like break even mode with all the server costs and stuff for all these new V2 servers. It's kind of like, the game is not really operating at a profit. It's just kind of like, it's fine for now, but I definitely will have to get skins and stuff in there in 1.8 to be able to kind of like pay for all these servers that I'm running. But yeah, like I said, if it gets to the point where skins can start to make some good money and people want to make cool skins, like I'd love to pay people to contribute cool skins. Like I said, maybe I'd want to like hire someone for that or something, because it's like the thing I want to be careful with is like not getting into something where half of my day suddenly goes into like managing sending out or like wrangling different things like that, like bank account stuff and financial stuff. Like I want to keep my day free to keep coding. But maybe something like that, maybe that would make sense. I could find someone to like work part-time to like manage that part. So who knows? Oh, please make flag return be touch by touch. Oh, 2 seconds? Oh, okay. Do you think that, like, do you think 2 seconds would, like, I'm curious if that would work well for like new players, or do you think instant is, because I feel like absolute new players, like, they're lucky if they're not falling off cliffs. Like, it seems like if they get to the flag, that's kind of a good achievement for them. Um, Or maybe this goes into, or maybe it would be okay. Like maybe we should just try that, like try a 2 second return time and see like how new players handle it. But yeah, my gut tells me that instant feels better for new people. Maybe pro players would differ, but maybe that goes into like maybe we can have some way like when cloud games happen where like new players get a certain set of games and that set of games like changes a little bit, like when you get more pro. Um, like the hot potato game we were playing last week, which was super cool, but it had like some game dynamics that were like a little bit more advanced than probably a new person would understand. So maybe that would be kind of the same thing. Like maybe as you progress to like the more advanced modes, maybe you'd get more stuff like 2 second return times. So clearly a intense topic here. Clearly a opinionated topic. I'd be curious to it'd be interesting to like run a poll, like see what the public thinks. Like I can kind of understand from both sides. Like instant is cool, but 2 seconds can be more strategic. I guess like in the default playlist, there's like the tip top, like the mountain map, and like capture the flag in that. It does sometimes get really frustrating if your flag gets. Though I think that one has a 2 second return time, or maybe I'm misremembering. Maybe roundabout. Maybe there's some others that could use 2 second return times. So yeah, I totally want to check out Explodinary. Would you want to give? Oh, Sock, are you in the? Can you hear now, or are you? Do we need to type to you? But I was gonna say, if you'd like to give a demo of it or something, we could plan that for next week. Or how is it going? Oh, he's not in. Okay, all right, never mind. So well, I guess I could just type. But next time he's around, we could. Yeah, it'd be cool to see a demo. Cool. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I'd love to check it out, but he could still demo it, or someone could demo it, or we could just have a little play session with it or something, just to check things out. Any plans for new power ups? I mean, I'm mostly thinking of technical stuff at this point. You know, I'm mostly worried about like getting BA Scene V2 off the ground, which is gonna, that'll be the tech that allows asset downloads and things like that. That's all going to be BA Scene V2. Um, in general, with plugins, one of my goals is to try to generalize the plugin system so that we can write plugins that can be like added and removed very easily. The same way that you add like new game types right now. You just like write a script and like there's a new game type. Whereas like plugins right now, to add a new plugin, you have to kind of just go in and like hack one big monolithic file. So from a technical standpoint, I've been thinking about new plugins, just making that possible. But I haven't thought too much about like which new plugins would be fun. I think there's, I feel like a lot of modders out there have come up with some stuff. So it'd be cool to like brainstorm and get people's opinions on like which plugins or which power-ups they've experimented with, like that have worked well. Like, do you guys have examples on like power-ups that you've played in like Joyride or any of the other mod packs that are especially fun that could be worth adding to the main game? Asset pack. Yeah, there's. I definitely want content moderation. Like I was mentioning for asset packs, it'll probably be something like. My thought right now is maybe like when you make an asset pack or you make a character, a map or something, like you'd have to share it with friends explicitly, maybe like with codes or something. Like you get 10 codes per day and you can share it with people, so you can play online with your friends, or maybe something where like maybe there'd be like a specific place you can go and like join those games or something. But I definitely by default I would like to keep that stuff isolated, because I'd like that anything that appears to like all players be approved basically. Like I want to keep the game family friendly. I'd like to have it more. I mean, I know there's cartoony violence and little pieces full of characters flying around and stuff, so it's a little bit not super young child friendly, but I'd like to keep it not blood and guts and nudity sort of thing. So yeah, I don't know exactly how the system will work, but that is my goal, is to not make it like a free for all where there's like 18 plus content everywhere. Oh yeah, 4 seconds bigger blast radius. Yeah, that would be fun. Like a mega bomb sort of thing where it's like everyone like you see that happen and like everyone just runs like ah. Oh, zigzag. Yeah, that that does seem to be a common thing. It's super easy to fall off. Oh, and climb the ramps and stuff. So yeah, there's once we for 1.8, I'd like to, as I said, start to make some more maps and things, and maybe zigzag should kind of be pulled from the rotation by default. Oh no, they hate epic modes. Oh, I feel I like epic modes. Some of you guys like epic modes, right? Like I feel like they maybe those are polarizing, but I've definitely like had a lot of fun games in like epic elimination mode and stuff like that. See, yeah. Right now, actually, I feel like there's a technical reason, because the game doesn't handle lag very well. I feel like if you're playing in epic mode, like it's a bit easier to control, because lag isn't as big of an issue. Hopefully, that'll be less of a reason to play in the future. But for right now, I think that kind of is. Yeah, exactly. Impossible to play online without epic mode. Yeah, so that kind of tells me that some of these things are definitely as people have their preferences, so it should just be like a player choice, or you should be able to join servers with epic mode or join servers without it, or like a lot of games do, like even if you're just doing like random matchmaking, just kind of be able to like check some boxes, like I want to play epic mode, I don't want to play zigzag, stuff like that. That'd be a good idea. All right. Mr. Sock is leaving, so I will type him good night. Oh, interesting. Yeah, I should. I mean, I guess people can like adjust them anyway, but like I should release the source files for all the original maps. So if people want to like make slight improvements to them or whatever, then people are able to. I do plan to. Yeah, like when the new asset system is in place, I do. I'm hoping to get all my original maps like ported over to the new asset system, so they're built using that instead of like my ultra janky old setup from 15 years ago. But I do think I would like to have some sort of like sharing functionality with the asset stuff. Like if you're building an asset package for 1.8 on the cloud server stuff, there should be maybe like a checkbox like make this public, so if you want, other people can get your source files and make their own spins on it, variations. It shouldn't be required, if you want to keep your stuff kind of private. But I think that could be cool for, I plan to do that for all the built-in maps. So yeah, opinion on this. Like I said, I think if I'd have to try these, but I think if players are making changes that make it more competitive for good players, if as long as they don't like mess up the experience for new players, I think like I'm all for it. Or as long as they don't like make things super ugly or So I guess I'd have to judge it on a case by case basis, but I know there's little flaws out there in the maps, and if people want to fix those, like yeah, I'm for it. But yeah, we'll have to see how like BAC and V2 evolves, or like what exactly that change entails, because it could be a good time to make some gameplay changes and whatnot. People are talking about like, punches should be less strong, or this should be or whatever. There's been a few pull requests lately that affect like the spaz physics a little bit, like actually just fixing a few bugs, making him always drop stuff when he's frozen or not frozen but like knocked out. And so I'll definitely apply those so we can like fix some little physicsy issues, but it could also be a good point to make some slight gameplay tweaks if we want, without having to worry about that breaking the old stuff. I guess the only thing is like then we'll have two slightly different like variations of like the physics, so we'll have to see how that works. I guess we can just move to start hosting everything with BAC and V2 as soon as possible, so that it's not too much of an issue. But yeah, anything still getting hosted with BAC and V1 might feel a little different or something. Oh, the unfair. Oh, unfair because it's like not symmetrical. You mean? Because it's like the entrance is on one side for one versus the other. Um, yeah, that's a good question. Can you think of any way to fix it? I mean, like if we made it symmetrical, I think that would be weird. Like I feel like that would fundamentally kind of change the map. I guess maybe that's something that comes into play more with pro players. So yeah, that's a good question. Like if we maybe if nothing else, like maybe we could just like rotate the sides. Or does that happen right now? Are the two teams always starting on the same side of that map? Like maybe we could just if we made it random to where like you start on one side once and start on the other side once, maybe it would at least more so even out. You'd have an advantage for one game and a disadvantage for the other. Bye bye, Mammy Madness. Mammy? I guess Mammy. Okay. But yeah, so maybe that would be a thing. Is maybe just like at least having random rotations. If we don't, I haven't actually looked at that logic. Does it? I don't. Maybe we do already, but it's like sometimes you get those. I know like American football matches or American football games. Sometimes there's a really windy day, and so like the team going one direction has a major advantage over the team going the other direction, but then it evens out usually because you switch directions at the half. So maybe something, I don't know, we can try to come up with similar things. Aw, thank you. How will asset system work in 1.8? Will yeah, that's basically the plan. So it's basically when you join a game, there'll just be like a loading screen or a loading bar before you get in the game. Um, and maybe if it's like not an approved asset, like I was saying, if it's something where people have made, where it's, some 18 plus thing that they haven't gotten approved, like maybe, I don't know, maybe it would like block you at that point or something unless the person gives you a code or just ask you, or I don't know, give you a warning or something. But yeah, basically the thing will be like whenever you join a server, there'll just be, before it actually drops you on the server, there'll be like a loading screen where it's downloading the assets that the server is going to be using. Hopefully that'll be very fast, and it'll cache it on your local device. So once you have a particular asset package, you won't have to get that again every time. Okay, blue team always has an advantage. Okay, well maybe we should look into changing that then, if it wouldn't be hard. Like we could just rotate the side you start on. I guess there's kind of like, that's a bummer right now. It's kind of consistent where like maps, it's always like blue team on one side, red on the other. So it makes it a little consistent in your mind. But maybe we could switch that up. Or just moving forward, like when things are more like cloud servers or cloud games where it's like individual matches happening against different sets of people, we can definitely shuffle it in that case because there isn't like some understood standard of like these guys are on the left, these guys are on the right. So yeah, exactly. This basically. You should never have to think about it. It'll just download whatever you need before it drops you into the match. So, and like I said, that'll probably first. I mean, maybe I'll get that working with BAC and V1, so like all the existing stuff, but I'm kind of thinking it might be limited to BAC and V2, just because there's certain things like when you're using those assets, it'll be a completely different way of, like you'll have to, if you're writing like a game, for instance, you basically have to kind of add something to your class to kind of pre-declare like which assets you're going to be using so that, the game knows like, oh, hey, this game class is going to need this asset pack, and this game class is going to need this asset pack. So like to run this series of games, we're going to need like all of these. So it's a technically challenging problem, to make it look clean when you're coding it. We definitely don't want it to be like downloading the assets like while the game is running, because then it would be like stuttering and stopping and whatever. So it's like we want to build up a list of like all the assets that it's going to be using, and then download all of those asset packs, and then launch the game. So that's basically it. Yeah, that's a good question. Like other games that do similar stuff where like downloads, like, are there examples of games that are downloading like user assets, and do they have any like approval process, or is it just like any server can host any assets and you will automatically get them? I mean, in a way, that's like, how the internet works. It's like you go to a website, you just automatically see all the JPEGs and everything else on that website. Like there's not like unless it's required by law, there's not like a approve process. But again, I don't want the game to be like the Wild West. I don't want like adult games showing up in the standard rotations and things like that. So, well, maybe this could be an option too. Like, so going back to the unfairness of Step Right Up, like maybe that map could only appear in for like newer players, because I feel like when you're not great at the game, those inequalities are less important. But then when you get really good, that stuff starts to become more competitive and more important. So maybe like we're saying, the new players, maybe they would see stuff like Step Right Up and like instant flag returns and stuff, and then maybe as you're playing more, it would start to be stuff like 2-second flag respawn times, or avoiding Step Right Up, or like a new version of it which is more symmetrical or something. Oh, so many opinions. This it does make me wonder, like, is there a kind of a natural way we could like learn what people like, again, maybe just like a set of checkboxes or something, like let players kind of be like, hey, I want flag respawn times, or I want this, or I want that, and then that would kind of influence the games that they wind up getting placed into, or it kind of influence like which games are hosted or something like that. I'm just wondering if there's like a natural way that we can learn, like, oh, the like new players seem to enjoy this the most, and like advanced players seem to enjoy this the most. Okay, so yeah, if nothing else, we will definitely, if it's downloading like new stuff, if it's possible to download like unapproved stuff, there'll definitely at least be like a warning or something like that, or like a report button, if somebody is, putting nasty stuff in there. Blitz, mind if I mute you? Feel free, anyone, of course, feel free to talk or whatever, but if it seems like there's people that are accidentally unmuted, I will mute you. Beaver bowl. Cool. Cool, yeah, if you have ideas for remaking that, go for it. I mean, we could always make a variation of it, just like Step Right Up 2, or it's some other stupid pun, come up with something where it's like referencing that idea, but it's more even. Or that, I mean, that opens up like additional questions too. Like, is there, for advanced players, like maybe the map design can start to be like more advanced, or there could be more stuff on the map, or just more strategy involved. Like maybe it should be. Maybe that's something we should explicitly think about. Like, if we can start to separate maps into like, this is a beginner map and this is a advanced map. It has all these weird features that would confuse beginners, but they're actually kind of cool if you're if you've been playing for a long time. Do a dance in parties. Yeah. I mean, not that I like at weddings or something. I feel like I don't get opportunities to dance, but no, I love me some dancing. I feel like I need to have like a drink or something first, though. Pesky inhibitions, but it's dancing, karaoke, stuff like that. Oh, it's great. How about you, Mr. Smoothie? Do you dance in parties? Oh, for it, nice. What sort of farewell party? Cool, cool. Oh, yeah. I have a few family weddings coming up. I think next fall or towards the end of the summer or something. So hopefully I'll have some opportunities to get my dance on. Yeah, that is an II arcade cabinet, which is they contacted me a while back about like installing Bomb Squad as a kind of a one of the bundled games on there. So they sent me a cabinet with Bomb Squad on it. So it's kind of cool. It's Yeah, it's that II arcade. Um, but yeah, I hope they're doing well. I hope they're continuing to do well. But basically, they have kind of like an app store for like old arcade games and whatnot. So you can download some of the classics, so like Space Invaders, things like that. And then they have there's 10 or 20 games included with it, and then you can download other ones. So it's kind of neat. I ordered a whiteboard. I haven't hung it up yet, but I'm gonna hang a whiteboard above there because I want to get like a high score list going for Space Invaders for anyone who visits. Step Bride up. Oh, that's pretty cool. I'm gonna have to start asking like when I design new maps or something, like start asking for people's pun ideas because I feel like people have way better pun ideas than I do. It makes me wonder though, like if some of the, because a lot of this stuff gets translated to all the bajillion different languages, and so I'm wondering how much of these like dumb puns and things just completely don't come across in other languages. Like why is this map called? Yeah, like what? Cool, cool. Make sure this isn't Rickroll. Oh, cool. So nice. It's very clean. Inherits from Meteor Shower. Yeah, we. Hmm. I guess my one question would be like, do the map bounds? In some cases, I wonder if the map bounds are like significantly different than the actual like interesting area of the map. I'm wondering if there'd be a way to like test that, or like to get the bombs to drop in like a more like areas that are the relevant areas of the map. I'd almost say like you could hard code it for certain maps. Like go in there and give yourself some maybe for like some special cases, just like set some values for a handful of maps just to make it work well on those maps, just to kind of calibrate it by hand. um, that would be my first thought is like would that help things. But I mean, yeah, technically this looks good. Looks like it would theoretically work on any map. It's it's interesting with stuff where it's like like trying to know whether we should make stuff that works with like any map, or because it's always a bummer to like hard code things to specific maps, because then if someone wants to make a new map, then you'd have to like modify the original thing to be hard coded to that new map, but it's not always going to be there. It's like it's like it'd be great to have generalized ways to do this. So if anyone has any ideas about how we can improve stuff to make it easier to to like expand, make a new map that supports Meteor Shower without necessarily having Meteor Shower try to support all maps, stuff like that. Be interesting to come up with a clean system for that. Bye, Voodoo. And yeah, that might become more relevant, as 1.8 comes around and we start to get more maps. Just kind of coming up ways where we can say like, hey, this map supports this type stuff, or this should support Meteor Shower, or maybe it's more. I guess there is already something like that, right? Where it's like you can get maps that support like particular play styles or something, or might just need to revisit that system, or we can revisit things like Meteor Shower to be like, hey, this supports any map that explicitly mentions Meteor Shower or something. Tiger Bomb. Well, that's kind of a cool name. I mean, if it sticks. I do wonder, yeah, like I don't really, I mean, I scan through when people submit other language translations, like I scan through, it has me, like I have it go through like Google Translate, and so I can take a look at like what they did, so make sure people aren't like trolling me. Like I had someone submit like a Spanish translation one time where they just changed like every translation to taco. It's like, haha, it was funny, but it was like, okay, good thing I caught that. But yeah, I wonder sometimes where like I don't want, if there's kind of charming little mistranslations like that, it's like it'd almost be fun to like leave those in there. Or it's hard for me to judge like when people make like slight translation adjustments. Like, is this actually going to be better, or is this like someone trying to be cute, or is this, it makes me wonder for like version 2 of the translation stuff. Like, part of me wants to add like a voting system or something where you can see like the last few translations that people have submitted, and then like decide like your favorite out of them or which one's most appropriate. Something that would kind of help, filter out, people submitting bad ideas and stuff. Oh yeah, April Fool's Day. I hate April Fool's Day so much. So yeah, I need to keep a close watch on any translations coming in on April Fool's Day. I don't know. I don't know if Google Translate supports Pirate Speak. I'll have to put like a support request into Google. Like, hey, we need Pirate Speak. I need to see what this stuff says in English. Like, what is ahoy matey? Like, what's the English translation for that? I am still very excited. It does seem like Pirate Speak is slowly but surely making progress. Let me see like where it's up to. 44% complete. All right, we're almost halfway there. So keep going, people. Glory is within reach. Our accounts. Oh, this is great. Our achievements. Campaign progress. Hard. This would be a good one to like test the UIs to make sure they can fit longer phrases. Be sure to be over till the season rolls over. Arg. Oh, so good. Yeah, that's a good example. It's just like, yeah, a lot of these, like I named the thing Happy Thoughts, which is a reference to, Peter Pan, like you think happy thoughts and you fly. But I'm sure, other cultures where they're, Peter Pan isn't a thing, or I do wonder like what these, what forms these names take, or like what they wind up as. And it's kind of okay, like whatever they wind up as is fine, I think. But, I almost want that to be consistent, or like you'd almost want it to stay, whatever weird thing it winds up as long as it stays that way, like that's cool. Oh, broken scores again? Oh, sorry. Yeah, I did not click on this. Oh, oh no, 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 no. I didn't press play. Does that count? I feel like it's not technically a Rickroll unless like the music starts. Like you have to, you have to at least hear that. Do, 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 do. I am actually not sure on Pirate Speak. I feel like there's been like a number of people carrying the torch on Pirate Speak. Like every now and then, I just get like someone seems to like submit a few things for like a week or two, and then it drops off, and then someone else picks up the torch, and then later. So it's like it's not like a single person. It's like a movement, an underground movement to get Pirate Speak done. See, now I'm really hesitant to click on things because I'm afraid of getting rickrolled, but this looks fun, so let's just do it. Awesome. It's kind of random. I love it. Okay, cool. Yeah, it's. I wonder if I still have like someone emailed me a long time ago, just like the origins of Pirate Speak. Someone just had this very like intriguing email, like what we really need, sir, is Pirate Speak. I would like to. So it's like I was like, okay, I'll add Pirate Speak. Are you asking? Are you actually asking what does Yar truly mean? I think it's just like how pirates talk. Like there's no. I don't think there's like a reason for it. Yar. What's that? I wonder. I'm guessing that like what we know as pirate talk, like that, like ahoy matey. I'm guessing if you read the history of it, it probably has. My guess is it probably came from like a movie in the 1940s or something like that. There's probably like some performance that someone interpreted, a pirate in the Caribbean is like talking that way, and it probably stuck. But who knows? Like, I'm wondering if there's actually any like historical accuracy to the like pirate language. But yeah, if anyone wants to look into that, like search through the ancient tomes and find out why do pirates say "yar." This is we can solve this. We'll get to the bottom of it. It's very important information. Hindi is bruh. Like that's a thing you say in Hindi. Is that like so like English? There's like bro speak. It's like whoa, bruh. So it's like different. There's like in Hindi has like a bruh word that's. Someone explain. Oh, submarines. We haven't checked on submarines. Yeah. Oh, it's not a good day for submarines. We got this guy out here east of Africa, but this guy out here somewhere in the Caribbean, however you want to say that. But yeah, there's no one out in the Pacific. Yeah, not much going on with submarines today, guys. Sorry. This guy here, he's close to India. Well, what can you do? Cool, cool. Well, maybe if anyone has any last stuff, otherwise, I think we're getting close, just past the 1.5 hour mark. So I might go ahead and wrap up soon and get back to work on making a lot of work for you guys to update your mods. Again, I apologize for doing this big reshuffle, but again, hopefully it won't be too bad because it's basically just moving things around a bit and not changing functionality. So we'll just like I said, rip this Band-Aid off, get all this stuff in place, and then we won't have to touch it ever again. Hopefully, too much. Oh yeah, that's probably it. Yeah, that's true because they can't update probably while submarines can't update while they're under the ocean. So they probably, yeah, I didn't think of that before I cut off access for 1.7.6. Shoot. Well, I hope everyone's recovered from that. Like I feel bad that I did kind of prevent those older 1.7 versions from connecting. I know that screwed up some people's servers, so I will. I'll try to be better about pre-announcing any new cutoffs like that here on the channel. But also, I don't think, hopefully I shouldn't need to do any more cutoffs like that because that was related to kind of a somewhat severe bug in the early 1.7 builds where it would, like if someone was playing on Android and they basically foregrounded and backgrounded their app a few times, like every time you did that, it would like establish another connection. So it would be adding more and more and more connections to the, basically account connections. So if someone didn't realize that and they were like playing over the course of a day and like swapping back out, you could have like 200 account connections for the app. So that would definitely strain my servers and probably strain that poor Android phone too. So that's why I had to kind of cut off those older 1.7 builds. But everything should be mostly behaving now. See, if I check my, things are mostly in a good place with like my server error logs. You can see like the logs are mostly all clean. Oh, there's a few older things. I haven't actually cleared these out in a few days. So this is, within a few days, there's been a handful of errors, but these are probably not too bad. It's definitely better than it was where like everything used to be red. So, oh sure, yeah, I'll stick around for a few minutes after this if anyone, for DMs or anyone needs to catch up with me, or I can try to get caught up on some stuff. Yeah, I can't believe I did. So thank you for jumping in. Thank you for the PR. Save the game. I used to have, I must have taken that out. I used to have like the copyright notice at the top of all the Python files had like the date on it. But I think I changed that because it became such a big pain in the butt like every year to go through and like, I had a script set up to do it, but it would be like a giant git commit every year to like tweak all those files. But I think now it just like mentions like this file is released under the whatever license, or yeah. All right, well, on that note, I'm going to head out, everyone. So unless there's any last minute notes here, but wait, okay, all right, waiting. So, personal question, okay. Uh-oh, how personal? Oh, the suspense. Anyway, while we're waiting for that, so yeah, hopefully by next week I will be done with this big refactor, and then maybe I'll try to help people kind of get their mods updated and whatnot, or at least have some tips and whatnot. So brace for that. Hopefully it won't be too bad. How many minutes does Ballistica CI spend of your actions spend limit? It's not actually that much. I feel like I don't want to like be diving around GitHub like settings right now, just in case there's like some keys or uh, security stuff. But I don't think I'm paying for that at all. I think it's well within the like the free amount, or though I am paying for like the standard like GitHub monthly fee or whatever, so I can have like private repos or whatever benefits that gets you. And so I'm not paying anything extra for GitHub CI. So I'm guessing, and actually that's on the public repo. So that would be, I think it falls under whatever the allowed public free minutes are. So it's definitely not too much. I could probably expand that to more, to do more stuff. I'm still like, most of my CI servers, I'm running my own just like Jenkins stuff. So I have actually 2 Jenkins servers right now. I need to consolidate this. Oh, got one thing failing. I think I know what that is, but yeah, I got a bunch of like full test runs that it runs like once every night, and then smoke tests that it runs whenever I check something in. Like it's just like a quick set of tests. So the GitHub stuff is basically the same as like the smoke tests. It's just doing that same thing for like the public repos. But I also have my own Jenkins stuff running on just little spare machines in the corner here. So I do a lot more heavier stuff. I'm sure like if I was doing all of this stuff on GitHub, that might start to push past my minute limit and might start to give me some costs there, but I'm not positive. And then yeah, I got my newer Jenkins stuff. So yeah, a bit more things here. Oh yeah, I'm slowly migrating stuff to this is my newer Jenkins server, which lives on my Mac Mini down in the corner here. But I have the old Jenkins server lives on, my old laptop in the closet. So yeah, that's on my to-do list, is to consolidate all my Jenkins stuff. Maybe move some of this to GitHub if that's free. So we'll see. Yeah, I guess maybe I should check the GitHub fee to make sure I'm not like paying for something I don't need to pay for. But there's some reason I'm paying. Well, actually, the second thing is for the internal version of Bomb Squad. I'm using Git LFS for all like the assets and stuff. Just because if you know about Git, like if you put a bunch of like binary files or like large like Photoshop files and things like that in Git, it's not very efficient. Just because that like balloons the size of your repository really badly, and it keeps every single copy of it, and every copy has to be fetched, if you're pulling from that Git repo. So Git LFS sort of like solves that problem in a way where it only pulls down like the working set of stuff that you're using currently. So I'm using GitHub's Git LFS stuff for the internal version of Bomb Squad and that is paid. So I pay some small amount for Git LFS usage. But then there's also, I'm paying for again, I'll have to check on the benefits of that, like what I'm paying for, make sure it's necessary that I'm paying. But there's something I'm paying for. It's not a ton. It's only, like $5 or $10 a month or something like that, which is not terrible. I get a lot of use out of GitHub, so happy to throw a few dollars at them. So convince Linus Torvalds to buy BS Pro. Well, unfortunately, there's no way for the Linux version, like the raw Linux version, to buy stuff right now. I need to, my hope is that for 2.0, doing the Steam and iOS launch, that I can get like the Steam in-app purchases wired up, so maybe Linux people will be able to actually buy stuff. But right now, you basically just have to like have an Android phone or a Mac or something and like link your account and buy stuff there. So it's annoying, but it's the state of the world at the moment. So yeah, that'll be good to get the Steam stuff wired up. So then, like PC people and Linux people and Mac people, if there's any Mac Steam people, can buy stuff that way. A few PR commits. Some have Ballistica launched through 400 minutes. Like on your own, like your fork of the server, or like you wound up exhausting the free amount, or like what do you mean by the 400 minutes there? Is that the free amount? I don't even remember what the free amount is. Well, there was the other Linus, like Linus Tech Tips. Like that guy, he's apparently a fan of Bomb Squad. Someone posted here before, so that was cool. But yeah, Linus Torvalds. I'm curious. Wonder if he's played. You should add Bomb Squad to the Linux kernel. It should be installed on everything. Didn't you warn us about the merch button? Okay, what about what warning about the merch button? Are you guys seeing the merch button or not seeing the merch button, or is it misbehaving, or what's happening? No one's actually buying merch, so maybe it's not actually working. It was like an experiment to put the merch button in there in the store and see if anyone would actually. But in general, the whole like merch store has been mostly pretty much a failure, but it's still kind of fun. Oh, I thought I mentioned it in release notes or something, or I mentioned it here somewhere. I don't know, but yeah, if it technically should only show up if you are in a country that error scanning script. Oh right, yeah, my script's API version changing. But yeah, there should be a merch button down here if you are in a supported country that takes you to where you can get all the BS merch. But sadly, that's only limited to like 6 countries or whatever that Amazon merch stuff supports. Yeah, it's a bummer. I'll keep my eyes open for if there's other ways to expand it to other countries or if there's anything we can do about that. I'd love to support that wherever possible. But yeah, potato merch. We all need some potato merch. I should actually order one of those. I'd wear a potato shirt. Yeah, I need to look into like where to get plushies made too. Like the Amazon stuff doesn't have plush options. It's mainly like shirts and a few other things. There's not even like coffee mugs. We need Bomb Squad coffee mugs, darn it. Oh well. The actual potato. With like just like a Bomb Squad logo like embedded on it or something or stamped on it. Yeah. That would be hilarious. Potato. Watch like that would take off. Like that makes more money than like the rest of the game ever has. Just like the Bomb Squad potato. Not even Bomb Squad, just a potato. It's like a $20 potato. The official Bomb Squad potato. $40. Okay. I mean, should it be any special? Like, should it be like I can touch it or something like this bomb or it's like gamer girl bathwater. It's this kind of thing. Like, there should be like this potato existed in my apartment. I don't know. Yeah. So, yeah, it'd be fun to like. Honestly, this stuff would be fun, like doing like toys or things like that, or who knows, maybe we can get to that point someday. I mean, I'm doing the Amazon stuff because it was pretty easy to set up and I could do it myself, and it's not something I have to like spend time running. But yeah, who knows? Maybe later I could like pay someone to make something cool or find a service that does it, or who knows. Just a regular old potato. It's not even, just nothing special about this potato. It's just a $40 potato. Okay. Get some of the submarine people to take the potatoes into their submarines with them. So many ideas. Oh yeah. Like this, yeah, submarine specific merch. Like you can only buy this potato if you're a submariner. Melt with mouth final. I love these little like weird urban legends and things that have popped up, like Mel with mouth. I guess it's not an urban legend. He used to have a mouth, but you know, it's become this weird like special thing. Mel with mouth. I mean, we could bring back Mel with mouth. It's just like I feel like he violated kind of like the design of the game, where it's just like, you know, little characters with big eyes and no mouths, and like Mel just had this mouth. Like it just seemed like so different. Maybe that that can be like the first once 1.8's ready. That can be like the first like special custom version of a character, like a custom skin. It could be like Mel with mouth. Like you can just unlock his mouth. It was a fun derpy mouth. I'll give you that. So, okay, we'll have to think about this. Yeah. Like all off to the side and kind of askew. But then it also like didn't move and stuff. Like, you know, Mel's making noises and his mouth is just like open and derpy. So, yeah, I don't know. What? Oh my gosh, this chat's getting weird. All right, I'm gonna have to close this. No. Anyway, yeah, I should sign off for the day. So I'll stick around for if anyone wants to chat about stuff for a few minutes, and then I will get back to, like I said, making your life miserable by updating your mods next week. So anyway, it's been fun, everyone. And have a good week, and I will talk to you all next time. I'll wait 5 seconds to see. Oh, just bye. Okay. All right. Peace out, y'all.